Hi everyone, welcome back to the cocktail vlog. I'm Steve the bartender, and it's currently Patrón Paloma week here in Australia, and therefore I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison of 3 Paloma recipes. So I think it makes sense to start with the most basic of recipes, the Classic Paloma, which is simply tequila, grapefruit soda, and optionally lime juice and salt. So this one can be served into a highball glass, and I'm going to measure out 45 ml, 1.5 ounce of Patrón Reposado tequila. Make sure you stick around for the next couple of recipes because they've got a bit of an interesting twist to them. And then next, I'll add 15 ml, half an ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice. Try and get most of it into your jigger. And then fill the glass with ice before topping with grapefruit soda. So in Australia, CAPI grapefruit soda is probably a go-to. Otherwise, if you're in the US or Mexico, I do believe Squirt is one of the really popular options to use in a Paloma. So roughly 100 ml, 3 and a bit ounces. And like I said, if you want to, you can give your glass a salt rim. Otherwise, you can just put a little pinch of salt into the drink itself and then give it a gentle stir. Now it's a grapefruit drink, garnished with a wedge of ruby red grapefruit. There you have a Classic Paloma. Cheers. That is super summery and refreshing. Now if you want to, you could make your own grapefruit soda at home by mixing soda water, agave, and fresh grapefruit juice with a pinch of salt. I've actually done this once before on the channel and it works out really, really well. And it's super easy to do. Now on to Paloma version number 2, the Upgraded Paloma. This one is by Zach OVERMAN, who's also the creator of the Angostura Colada. You guys may have seen that on the channel recently. I'll leave a link to that in the description below so you can go check it out. To begin with, we're going to start making a salted grapefruit cordial and then use that in the Paloma version. And it has one little ingredient that I think will make it absolutely delicious. So you want to start by peeling 1 ruby red grapefruit. Make sure you don't get too much pith on your peel, which is the white bit. It will add sort of some pithy, bitter flavors to your cordial. And you want to avoid that. So we've got the grapefruit peels ready to go, and then you want to add 1 cup of sugar. So this is essentially making an oleosaccharum. And what happens is the sugar will pull the oils out of the peels and you'll get a really rich, strong, flavorsome syrup. Now you can leave it in a bowl or you can transfer it to a bag overnight, and it will end up turning to this, which is one that I've prepared earlier. So it's still not quite dissolved, all the sugar, but it's quite syrupy, and that's going to be really intensely flavored. And then we're going to use that as the base for our salted grapefruit cordial. Next, I want to transfer the grapefruit oleosaccharum into a bottle. And if you use a Crew Supply Co bottle, then it'll be nice and easy to clean afterwards. Going to use a funnel to pour it through the top, and it should keep out all the grapefruit peel. Yeah, so it's a really thick, viscous syrup, but I'm going to add a few more ingredients which will thin it out. So now I want to grab the peeled grapefruit and juice it, and add about half a cup of grapefruit juice into this. Close, but not quite. Half a cup of grapefruit juice. Transfer that in. And then a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice. So a 1/4 cup of fresh lime juice, which is a smidge over 60 ml or 2 ounce. And then a 1/4 cup of filtered water. Now I'm giving a quick shake to combine all the ingredients. And then I'm going to put the final one in, which is just a 1.5 teaspoons of salt. They have a salted grapefruit cordial, ready to use in the next cocktail. So with a little bit of preparation beforehand to make the salted grapefruit cordial, we can make this drink really quickly. So 60 ml, 2 ounces of Patrón Reposado Tequila. And the ingredient that I was very keen to add into my Paloma is the Campari. So 15 ml, half an ounce. Just a touch. Then the salted grapefruit cordial, 30 ml, 1 ounce. And that saltiness is gonna brighten up the Campari. And 22.5 ml, 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. Fill the glass with ice, and then top with soda. Maybe not top, this is quite a big glass. I'm gonna say about 60 ml, 2 ounces. I can always add more later. That looks wicked. And also garnish with a grapefruit wedge. Stainless steel straw, and there you have an upgraded Paloma by Zach Overman. Cheers. Whoa. I actually feel like the agave notes from the tequila come through a lot more strongly with this one. I think it's kind of amplified by the bitterness of the Campari and the salt from the cordial. I'd say that's probably lighter and brighter, more summery and refreshing. This is a little bit more intense in a good way. And with this particular cordial, I'd probably say you could keep that in the fridge for a couple of weeks. And the third version of the Paloma today is a clarified milk punch or a clarified Paloma. I'm adding a little bit of milk to make the citrus curdle, and then I'm straining it so it makes it a really nice clear liquid. It's actually a really simple process. You just have to be a little bit patient because you need to fine strain it or strain it with a coffee filter overnight. But nice and easy one, this just needs some patience. So 45 ml, 1.5 ounce of Patrón Reposado Tequila. And I've done a bigger batch, which I'll leave in the description below. But for the sake of the video, I'm just doing a single serve just to show you. And then Ancho Reyes, chili liqueur. So 15 ml, half an ounce. And then Aperol. I mean, this is a pretty loose variation on a Paloma, but it's still got the same sort of flavors at heart. It's tequila, agave, and grapefruit. So 15 ml, half an ounce of Aperol, and 60 ml, 2 ounces of fresh grapefruit juice. And then 15 ml, half an ounce of agave syrup. I better measure it. 15 ml, half an ounce of fresh lime juice. And I'll give the ingredients just a quick stir just to combine them all. Now to make it curdle, I'm going to add coconut milk, just 30 ml, 1 ounce. So usually you use a 4:1 ratio, 4 parts of the drink to 1 part of milk or coconut milk, the fatty substance that you're using to make a curdle. So 30 ml, 1 ounce. And I've explained it when I've made a clarified milk punch in a video before, but you want to add the acidic ingredients to the milk. So if you add the milk to the acidic ingredients, it's going to curdle immediately. Whereas by adding it slowly, it's going to slowly raise the pH of this particular flask and then start to curdle. Does that make sense?
Science would say.
Yeah, cool. So slowly pour it in. Some people do like to warm their ingredients, but I find it works perfectly well just with room temperature. Give it a gentle stir to combine, and then ideally you want to leave this for about 30 minutes for the ingredients to curdle. Okay, fast forward 30 minutes later, and my little contraption here set up. So I've got a mixing glass, I've got a funnel, I've got a conical fine strainer, and then I've got a coffee filter. The reason I like using the fine strainer, it kind of creates a bit of a gap between the coffee filter and the funnel. If you just use the coffee filter and the funnel, then it compresses against the side and it's only got this real small end where the conical strainer meets at the point that the liquid actually comes out. So this makes it a little bit faster, I feel. I could be wrong. But I like to use the conical strainer. So you just need to remember that it's not so much the coffee filter that's doing the filtering, it's the bed of curds that settle into the coffee filter that does most of the straining. So it's coming through relatively clear at the moment, but I'll let a little bit pour off so that the curds actually settle into that coffee filter. And then I'll transfer that just to give that initial part an extra strain. Now to the eye, this looks like it's coming through really clear. If you wanted to, you could strain it once and then do it a second time to make sure it's crystal clear. But this actually looks really good to me. And for this single drink, you probably have to wait for about 2 to 3 hours for it to fully strain. It'll start to slow down as you get less liquid in there and there's more curds that it has to filter through. But you don't have to wait that long because I've got one that I prepared earlier right here. So why would you want to clarify a cocktail? Well, it kind of softens the ingredients and melds it all together. It's quite hard to explain. It also does increase the stability. The shelf life on this, I believe, it can last like 6 months or more. But this is the first time I've tried the Paloma, and yeah, I'll let you know the results if it's worth trying yourself. I'll measure this out actually. So I've just transferred 135 ml or 4.5 ounces over a nice, relatively crystal clear ice cube. And then I'll add a splash of soda. I'm gonna add that carbonation and gently stir to combine. This could definitely be a little bit clearer than it is. It is a little bit hazy. It seemed to come out clearer the first time, and then once I refrigerated it, kind of, I don't know, it seemed to get a little bit hazy. But you can garnish it if you like with a slice of lime or a wedge of grapefruit. But I kind of think the simplicity of this, the fact that it's almost clear, is kind of part of its beauty. A clarified Paloma. Cheers. It's definitely intriguing. It's not what I was anticipating. The Aperol and the spice actually gets really lost in this. As I said, when you clarify things, it melds together. And I think you need to get a little bit more complex flavors into the drink before you clarify it. So probably adding some spices, or I've seen a clarified Paloma that has like a tea with a lot of spices, and you roast some spices off to do that. I think it lacks complexity, and I think that the brilliance of the Paloma is its simplicity, like the Classic Paloma, and also it's really vibrant, bright citrus notes, and this kind of loses that. So which Paloma would I choose out of the Classic Paloma, the Upgraded Paloma, and the Clarified? Well, I think you all know that probably the Clarified isn't going to be my pick. It just missed the mark a little bit. The process itself is fun. It's cool to do, and I encourage you to do so at home, but maybe not the Paloma, maybe a different drink. Out of these two here, Classic Paloma, really summery, refreshing, like super simple. That's the brilliance of this drink. It's so easy to make at home. The Upgraded Paloma, like I said before, I feel like the agave notes are pushed to the forefront. Well, this did actually have a little bit more tequila, but I feel like it pushes the agave to the forefront more so with that salted grapefruit cordial. Works really well. I'd say it's an incredibly close call with these two. This has a more potent, more punchy flavor to it, and this is just super refreshing. So it depends on the moment. I'm probably more likely going to make a Classic Paloma for myself at home. But let me know in the comments below which one you would prefer. And I'll see you soon for another cocktail video. Cheers.